So let's get right to it. Mr. Oxley, or sorry, Charlie, tell us a little bit about why handicap's important.
Well, handicaps are one of the ways in which golf has decided to allow players of unequal ability to compete together. And so a lot of things that are in the golf process are designed to do that. Equitable strokes, ratings of tees, different tees, men and women. How do you get all those moving parts in the same package? And one of the ways is handicaps, which allow you to adjust your score, a golfer to adjust his or her score, so that you end up with a number which will allow a golfer a higher handicap, a better playing ability to compete with a golfer of a lesser handicap or better playing.
Makes total sense. So, yeah, like if you're playing Dave Bunker, you guys would play the same match basically.
We'd say play the same match, although he'd be giving me lots and lots of strokes.
Yes.
Yes.
Now let me ask the $1,000,000 question. We get asked this at every event. If you're playing the green tees and I'm playing the blue, or I'm playing the white tees, and the majority of the field is playing the white tees, how does it work for handicaps?
Well, again, the idea here is to allow players to compete against each other. So on the scorecard, we have what's identified as a course rating. So course rating is designed around how a scratch golfer would play from different tees, and it measures the difficulty of the course. So you want to see the difficulty of a course, look at the course rating. So if it's par 71 and the course rating is lower than 71, it's easier. If it's more than 71, it's harder. So the difference between our white tees, which are for men 68.5, and our blues, which are 70.6, is about 2 strokes. And so for competition, if you play the blue tees, you end up getting 2 more strokes. Conversely, it's 1.6 for the greens, so you get 2 less strokes.
Gotcha.
And the idea there is simply to allow players of different abilities who play from different tees, admittedly as well with different handicaps, to compete.
So it helps even out the playing field even more.
Yes.
Beautiful. Makes sense to me. Now, what happens if I don't play enough holes? If I play 6 holes or 7 holes, what do I do?
Well, if you play, it's 7 holes is the number. 7 holes, 7 to 12 holes, you put a score in for either 9 holes. More than 12 holes, you put a score in for 18 holes. And what you do is you impute the score that you would most likely get. So that if you're playing, let's say 7 holes, you have 2 holes to complete to get to 9. You put in the score plus your handicap. So if it's a par 4 and it's a handicap 5, you put in 4.
Awesome.
If it's a 3, you put in 1 stroke. You put in a score of 5. So you're plus or minus the nominal value of the hole based on your particular handicap.
Makes sense.
Conversely, in addition, if you in match play, you frequently pick up, and so in those cases you impute the value. So if you have a sort of a gimme putt, you count a stroke.
Makes
if you
sense.
have an 80-foot putt, you might count 2.
Yeah.
Or 3.
It's kind of like simulator golf. It kind of says how many putts you would have had.
Right.
Awesome. Now, Kelly, we had some pretty awesome events in July, right?
We did. It was a very busy month, I guess we started it off with Canada Day, and I don't know how many people attended, but there was the room was set up beautifully with the red and white colors, and then to top it off, we had a wonderful fireworks display. So we had people sitting out on the patio, we had people out around the 18th green, and it was great time had by all. We then had the men's section hosted the tradition, and they had really amazing participation. Member guests were then held. The ladies had, I think, record attendance, as did the men. It was a significant improvement over prior years, which is wonderful to see them enjoy that great day. And then we had our senior championship event. Our lady senior champion was Sandy Bykowski, and the men it's a 2-day event, and Ron Kerr was our champion. I was so happy to have no rain that day that weekend because that was a little bit different than our stroke play championship. We also had a great mixed event. And then we've also had some tremendous success with our juniors, and a separate e-blast went out that has gone out to the membership just to recap all of the successes of our juniors. But one particular item I did want to note, Brooke Rivers, who is 13 years old, qualified for the Canadian Women's Amateur Championship. So that was big kudos to Brooke. Going into August, we have another jam-packed month. The Ladies Solheim Cup is going to be on Tuesday, August 10th. The senior competition is Sunday, August 19th. The staff golf tournament is a 9-hole event, is on Monday, August 20th. And then the Men's Brampton Open is being held Wednesday, August 22nd. And then, of course, our club championship event starts on August 25th. And so for anyone who's new to the club, on August 25th we have a qualifier, so anyone interested can sign up, and then you play in your flight, and the top 16 qualify for the match play competition. Often on the women's side we don't have more than 16, so what it does is it seeds you on how you're going to play in the match play. But for the men we often have more than 16, so you may be eliminated, but you know, it is a one-day event and anything can happen. We then go to 16 on the Sunday, and then on the Labor Day weekend it goes 8, 4, and 2. So on
the Saturday, I just want to mention to everybody, if you are interested in playing, make sure to sign up, because it's basically the only way you'll get a tee time that Saturday morning.
Right. We also encourage everyone to come out. So on the Labor Day Monday, we have you know, it's sort of our championship. Both the men's championship flight and the ladies championship flight are 36 holes, so they start early, and then we come in with all the different flights, we ending with the championship flight, and then we're going to have a reception and all of our champions over the summer. So from the stroke play event, from the different match play events, we celebrate everyone, and we have a piper that will pipe everyone in.
Really?
So it's a really fun day.
That's cool.
And we do have, you know, if we have people, we have standard bearers. We do encourage people to bring caddies. So it's a really exciting time at the club, and really I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that everyone participates.
It's awesome. Beautiful. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Mr. Oxley. Charlie, I'm going to get that right one day.
We didn't talk about tournament scores.
That's our final thought here, is to talk about tournament scores. So, segue into the club championship. Can you explain to us how tournament scores work? Because I know that the club championship, correct me if I'm wrong, is a tournament score.
It is, yes. Well, tournament scores is a favorite topic of many players, and the reason it's a topic is because it doesn't really get understood. But the bottom line is tournament scores count more than regular scores if they're better than regular scores. And the basic rule the rule is, if you've got 2 tournament scores which are at least 3 strokes better than your average, your normal or nominal handicap, then they get counted and they get to reduce your handicap. They stick around, unfortunately, for 12 months, and so
now that's regardless of how many scores you have. They stay in for 12 months.
They
right?
stay there as long as they're lower than your 10 out of 20 handicap calculation.
So if I have higher than normal tournament scores, they'll get knocked out?
They get knocked out. They get counted, and there's a fairly complicated formula which averages the two and determines how much the reduction is. The reduction is based on the number of tournaments you play, so that if you play more tournaments, the reduction is less than if you play less tournaments. So if you play, like, I think it's 31 or 41 tournaments in the little chart, the reduction is less than if you play 1 or 2 tournaments. But in any case, the rule of thumb is if you have low tournament scores, they end up reducing your handicap. And much like equitable strokes on the other side, they're designed to make sure that your potential, and the word is potential, is acknowledged at all times. So as long as you had the potential to shoot a good score, let's say a 78 or an 80, when you're normally like an 86 or a 90 shooter, you have the potential. You'll always have the potential. At least golf says you're going to have it for a year.
Yeah.
And so the scores get hammered for a year, which is you may not like it, but it's just the way it is.
That's the rules.
That's a good way to end it. It's just the way it is.
Come on. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah.